What if men faced legal repercussions for not intending to procreate every time they had an erection? Sounds absurd, right? Welcome to the world of Ohio lawmakers who are proposing a bill that's turning heads, raising eyebrows, and sparking plenty of conversations. The bill is called the Conception Begins at Erection Act, and it's as provocative as it sounds. It's all about regulating men's reproductive behavior. The proposal makes it illegal for men to, well, let's keep it PG, release their genetic material without the intent to fertilize an embryo. Yes, you heard that right. But before you start panicking, there are exceptions. Contraceptive use, masturbation, and LGBTQ+ individuals are all given a pass. And what happens if you break this proposed law? Prepare to cough up a hefty fine that could reach up to $10,000. This bold proposition, although seemingly outlandish, has a deeper message behind it. But before we dive into that, let's take a look at the context. To understand the rationale behind the Conception Begins at Erection Act, we must first grasp the current landscape of reproductive rights in Ohio. The state has been a battleground for this contentious issue, with the lines drawn between those advocating for the rights of women to make choices about their bodies and those who believe in the sanctity of unborn life. In recent times, we've seen the emergence of the Ohio Prenatal Equal Protection Act. This proposed legislation seeks to establish legal protections for preborn individuals, stirring up a hornet's nest of debate. The bill is a reflection of the push by anti-abortion advocates to create new legislation that criminalizes abortion. It represents the ongoing tug-of-war between those who champion women's reproductive rights and those who advocate for the rights of the unborn. Despite the legalization of abortion rights in Ohio, the pressure from anti-abortion advocates is relentless. They are pushing for new legislation, aiming to tip the scales in favor of the unborn. This has led to a heated debate about the extent to which the state should regulate women's bodies and their reproductive choices. With this backdrop in mind, the Conception Begins at Erection Act starts to make a bit more sense. Or does it? The Conception Begins at Erection Act may seem like a far-fetched piece of legislation, but it serves a critical purpose. At its core, this bill is not about criminalizing men's reproductive behavior. Instead, it's a bold and admittedly cheeky way to highlight the ongoing debate around reproductive rights. The bill's sponsors, Representatives Anita Somani and Tristan Rader, are clearly not under the illusion that men will suddenly be held accountable for every single sperm cell. Rather, their proposal is a satirical mirror reflecting the absurdity of regulating individuals' reproductive rights. The seeming imbalance in the regulation of men's and women's bodies is a stark reminder of the disparities that exist within our society. Women's bodies have long been the subject of legislative control, and this bill turns the tables, albeit in a tongue-in-cheek manner. The Conception Begins at Erection Act draws attention to the need for a more balanced conversation on reproductive rights. It's a stark reminder that reproductive health is not solely a woman's issue, but a societal one, requiring equal participation and responsibility from all genders. Moreover, this bill serves as a tool to spark conversation about reproductive rights. It's a conversation that is essential, especially in a world where access to reproductive health care is often a contentious issue. So, while it's unlikely that men will be penalized for not intending to procreate every time they have an erection, it's a conversation starter about the importance of equal reproductive rights. Whether you find the Conception Begins at Erection Act laughable or thought-provoking, it serves as a reminder of a critical conversation we need to have. This proposal, while satirical in nature, underscores a serious issue. It highlights the ongoing debate on reproductive rights in Ohio, a state where lawmakers are striving to regulate the bodies of individuals in ways that are often seen as intrusive and disproportionate. The bill, presented by Representatives Anita Somani and Tristan Rader, is an audacious statement against the perceived absurdity of regulating individual rights. It proposes making it illegal for men to discharge semen without the intent of fertilization, with certain exceptions, thereby mirroring the restrictions often imposed on women. The deeper message behind this act is not about criminalizing men's reproductive behavior, but rather about sparking a conversation on how we view and regulate reproductive rights. It's a call for equality and for a more balanced discourse on the subject. As the debate on reproductive rights continues, remember to look beyond the surface and consider the underlying issues at stake. After all, it's not just about erections, it's about equality.